Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel. Today's video explores a British coin that many people overlook, yet collectors around the world continue to study closely, the 1990 Queen Elizabeth II 20p coin with no mint mark. We will uncover its history, explain why some examples can be valuable, discuss rarity and errors, and examine what this coin could be worth in the current market and looking ahead to 2026. The 20p coin was introduced into United Kingdom circulation in 1982. It was created to fill the gap between the 10p and 50p denominations and quickly became part of everyday life across Britain. By the time 1990 arrived, the 20p was already well established, frequently used in shops, vending machines, and public transport systems. The 1990 issue features Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, shown wearing the royal diadem. This portrait is known as the third definitive effigy of the Queen and was designed by Raphael David Maclauff. The Queen faces to the right, surrounded by the Latin inscription declaring her title as Queen and Defender of the Faith. This portrait symbolized stability and continuity during a period of major economic and political change in the United Kingdom. On the reverse of the coin is the iconic Tudor rose design, representing the union of the House of Lancaster and the House of York. The denomination of 20p is clearly displayed, and the coin retains its distinctive seven-sided shape, which makes it easily recognizable by touch as well as sight. The coin is struck in cupronickel and weighs just over 5 grams, making it durable enough for heavy circulation. In 1990, a very large number of 20p coins were struck for circulation. Because of this high production, most examples found today are common. The term no mint mark simply means the coin was produced as a standard circulation issue at the Royal Mint. Unlike some international coins, British circulation coins of this era did not use mint marks to distinguish locations, so the absence of a mint mark is normal rather than special. For the majority of people, a 1990 20p coin will not be rare. In circulated condition, it usually holds little more than face value. Even coins in excellent uncirculated condition typically command only a modest premium from collectors who are completing date runs or assembling full sets of decimal coinage from the late 20th century. However, the story changes dramatically when we talk about unusual examples. Within the vast number of coins produced, a very small handful were struck incorrectly. These minting errors are where real collector value can emerge. One of the most famous examples from this year is a 1990 20p coin struck on the wrong metal blank. This type of error occurs when a blank intended for another denomination is accidentally fed into the coining press. Coins struck on the wrong planchet are exceptionally rare and highly prized. In the case of the 1990 20p error, numismatic experts have suggested that only one confirmed example may exist. Because of its uniqueness, such a coin has attracted enormous interest from collectors and has been discussed in connection with four-figure price ranges. For a collector, rarity of this magnitude can push value far beyond what standard price guides suggest. Condition plays a crucial role in determining value. Coins are graded based on wear, surface quality, sharpness of detail, and overall eye appeal. A heavily worn coin with smooth details is always worth less than one with crisp lettering and original mint luster. For error coins, condition combined with authentication can significantly influence final sale prices. Collectors should also be aware that not every unusual coin is valuable. Damage caused after a coin leaves the mint is not the same as a true mint error. Scratches, dents, or discoloration caused by circulation or environmental exposure do not increase value and often reduce it. This is why professional evaluation is essential when a coin appears unusual. As we look toward 2026, the market for British decimal coins remains steady. Common circulation coins from the late 20th century continue to trade at modest levels. The 1990 20p coin, in normal condition, is expected to remain affordable and widely available. Its value is driven more by condition than by rarity. That said, demand for genuine mint errors continues to grow. As collectors become more specialized and online marketplaces make rare coins easier to discover and trade, authenticated error coins are likely to maintain strong interest. Unique or near-unique pieces from well-documented years such as 1990 could continue to rise in value, especially if they remain in private collections and rarely appear for sale. The 1990 Queen Elizabeth II 20p coin is a classic example of everyday British coinage. Most examples are common and modestly valued, but hidden within this ordinary issue are extraordinary rarities that remind us why coin collecting remains so exciting. A single mistake at the mint can transform a simple 20p piece into a valuable historical artifact. If you have a 1990 20p coin, take a closer look. While chances are it is a standard example, the possibility of something unusual is what keeps collectors searching. The 2000 Australia Queen Elizabeth II 50c coin with no mint mark. This coin often appears ordinary at first glance, yet it holds a fascinating place in Australian numismatic history. Many people unknowingly spend it, while collectors quietly search for the right example that could be worth far more than face value. In this video, we will cover the full history, design, rarity, collector demand, real-world value, and what this coin is expected to be worth in the year 2026. Australia adopted decimal currency in 1966, and the 50c denomination quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in the country. The earliest 50c coins were round and made of silver, but rising silver prices forced their withdrawal. In 1969, the distinctive 12-sided shape was introduced, giving Australia one of the most unique circulating coins in the world. This shape has remained unchanged ever since and makes the 50c coin instantly identifiable. By the year 2000, Australia was preparing to mark the beginning of a new millennium. To celebrate this historic moment, the Royal Australian Mint released a commemorative 50c coin for general circulation. Unlike proof or collector-only issues, this coin was intended to be used by the public, meaning millions of Australians would carry a piece of history in their pockets without realizing it. The obverse of the 2000 50c coin features the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a design that symbolizes stability and continuity. The inscription includes her name and title, representing her role as Australia's monarch during one of the most significant transitions in modern history. The reverse of the coin is what sets it apart from standard issues. Instead of the traditional Australian coat of arms, the reverse displays a design marking the millennium year. The wording is simple, clean, and symbolic, emphasizing the transition from 1,000 years to the next. There is no mint mark present, which is normal for Australian circulating coinage, but this detail often confuses collectors who expect to see one. Approximately 16 million of these coins were struck, which may sound like a large number. However, mintage alone does not determine value. Because these coins were released directly into circulation, most examples quickly became worn, scratched, or damaged through everyday use. Very few were saved in pristine condition, and even fewer were examined closely for subtle design variations. Within this large mintage exists a rare and highly sought-after variety known among collectors as the incuse flag variety. On standard examples, all design elements appear raised above the surface. On the incuse flag variety, part of the flag design appears sunken or pressed into the coin instead of standing out. This difference is subtle and often overlooked, but once seen, it becomes unmistakable. This incuse feature is believed to have resulted from a variation in the minting process rather than an intentional design change. Only a small percentage of the total mintage displays this characteristic, making it significantly rarer than the standard coin. Many of these rare examples were likely spent before anyone noticed the difference, which further reduces the number of surviving pieces today. Rarity in coin collecting is not just about how many were made, but how many still exist in collectible condition. Most 2000 50c coins show heavy wear. The edges are smoothed, the Queen's portrait loses detail, and the reverse design becomes flat. High-grade examples with sharp details and original luster are far more difficult to find, especially for the incuse flag variety. In the current market, the standard 2000 50c coin in circulated condition generally holds only a modest premium above face value. These coins are common and widely available, and most are worth only a few dollars at most. Uncirculated examples are more desirable and can command slightly higher prices, particularly if they retain their original mint shine. The incuse flag variety is where serious collector interest begins. Even in circulated condition, these coins can be worth many times their face value. Examples showing clear ink use detail with moderate wear often sell for tens of dollars, while better preserved coins can reach much higher figures. Coins that have been professionally graded and authenticated are especially valuable, as grading confirms both authenticity and condition. In top uncirculated condition, an ink use flag 2050-cent coin can become a four-figure collectible. These high prices are driven by demand from collectors who specialize in modern Australian varieties and errors. As more collectors become aware of this variety, competition for the best examples continues to grow. Looking ahead to 2026, the outlook for this coin remains strong. Modern commemorative coins with genuine varieties tend to perform well over time, especially when they are tied to significant historical events like the turn of the millennium. While standard circulated coins are unlikely to see dramatic increases, high-grade examples and rare varieties are expected to maintain or slowly increase in value. Market trends suggest that collectors are becoming more interested in modern decimal coinage, particularly coins with documented differences and limited surviving populations. As grading populations grow and the number of undiscovered examples declines, scarcity becomes more pronounced. This is especially true for coins that were never intended to be collectibles at the time of issue. If you believe you have a 2050-cent coin that may be valuable, careful examination is essential. Look closely at the reverse design under good lighting. Compare raised and recessed areas, and pay attention to overall condition. Coins with minimal wear, sharp edges, and clear design details are always more desirable. Professional grading is highly recommended for any coin suspected to be rare or valuable. Certification provides confidence to buyers and can significantly increase market value. However, grading should only be considered if the coin is clearly above average or shows the ink use flag feature. The 2000 Australia Queen Elizabeth II 50 cents coin is far more than just spare change. It represents a moment in history, a transition into a new millennium, and an example of how modern coins can still hold hidden rarity. While most examples remain common, a select few stand out as genuine collectibles worth serious money. This coin reminds us that valuable collectibles are not always old or made of precious metals. Sometimes, they are hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to recognize their significance. The 1980 Hong Kong $2 coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II. This particular coin often raises questions among collectors and viewers alike. Many people wonder whether it is rare, whether it is valuable, and whether it could be worth a lot of money in today's market or even in the future. In this video, we will cover the full history, design, mintage, rarity, collector demand, and realistic market value of this coin, including what it is worth now and what it may be worth in 2026. The Hong Kong $2 coin was introduced during a period of rapid economic growth in Hong Kong under British administration. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, Hong Kong had become one of Asia's most important financial and trading hubs. The need for durable, easily distinguishable coinage led to the continued use of the uniquely shaped $2 coin, which stands out because of its scalloped edges rather than a traditional round shape. This design made it easy to identify by touch and helped reduce confusion with other denominations in circulation. The 1980 issue belongs to the standard circulation series used daily by millions of people. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, symbolizing Hong Kong's status as a British Crown colony at the time. This portrait is formal and dignified, representing stability and continuity within the monetary system. For many collectors, coins bearing the image of Queen Elizabeth hold lasting appeal because they connect multiple regions of the world that were once part of the British Commonwealth. On the reverse side, the coin displays the numeral 2, along with inscriptions in both English and Chinese. This bilingual presentation reflects Hong Kong's unique cultural identity, blending Eastern and Western influences. The overall design is simple yet functional, made for heavy circulation rather than decorative or commemorative purposes. The 1980 Hong Kong $2 coin was struck in copper-nickel alloy, giving it strength and resistance to wear. Because it was meant to circulate heavily, most examples found today show signs of use such as scratches, dull surfaces, and softened details. This is an important factor when discussing value, because condition plays a major role in determining how much a coin is worth. One of the most common misunderstandings about this coin is the idea that it is rare simply because it has no mint mark. In reality, the absence of a mint mark on this coin is completely normal. These coins were produced under centralized minting arrangements, and the lack of a mint mark does not indicate a special or limited issue. Large quantities were produced to meet the needs of everyday commerce, making this coin widely available even decades later. Because of its high mintage, the 1980 Hong Kong $2 coin is not considered rare in standard circulated condition. Many collectors can easily obtain one at low cost. However, that does not mean the coin has no collector value at all. Its appeal lies in its historical context, distinctive shape, and representation of Hong Kong before the 1997 handover. Value depends heavily on condition. A coin that has been heavily circulated usually carries minimal premium above face value. Such coins are often collected as examples rather than investments. On the other hand, coins that have survived in uncirculated or near uncirculated condition can be more desirable. These pieces retain sharp details, original luster, and minimal marks, making them more attractive to collectors. In rare cases, coins with verified minting errors such as off-center strikes, double strikes, or planchet defects can be worth significantly more. However, these are exceptions rather than the rule. Without a confirmed error or professional grading, most examples of the 1980 issue remain modest in value. As of now, market prices reflect steady but limited demand. The coin is collected primarily by Hong Kong specialists, Queen Elizabeth collectors, and those interested in colonial-era coinage. It is not generally considered a high-investment coin, but it is respected as a historical piece. Demand remains stable rather than speculative. Looking ahead to 2026, the value outlook for the 1980 Hong Kong $2 coin is expected to remain relatively stable. Because supply is still abundant and new collectors continue to enter the hobby, prices may experience gradual increases over time, particularly for high-grade or professionally graded examples. However, dramatic price jumps are unlikely unless a new collector trend or historical interest significantly boosts demand. In practical terms, most circulated examples will continue to trade at affordable prices. Uncirculated examples may slowly rise as fewer pristine coins remain available. Coins certified by professional grading services may command higher prices due to buyer confidence and condition verification, but even these are expected to remain within a reasonable range rather than reaching extreme values. It is important for collectors to understand the difference between internet hype and real market data. Many coins are promoted online as rare or extremely valuable when they are not. The 1980 Hong Kong $2 coin is a perfect example of a piece that is historically interesting and collectible, but not a hidden treasure in most cases. For collectors, the real value of this coin lies in its story. It represents a time when Hong Kong was under British rule, when Queen Elizabeth II appeared on its circulating currency, and when distinctive coin designs were used to serve practical needs in a fast-growing economy. Owning this coin is like holding a small piece of that history in your hand. The 1980 no mint mark Queen Elizabeth Hong Kong $2 coin is a genuine and respected collectible, but it is not typically worth a large amount of money unless it is in exceptional condition or has a verified minting error. Its value in 2026 will likely remain modest, with gradual appreciation driven by condition, collector interest, and historical significance rather than rarity. We are taking an in-depth look at the 1960 no mint mark Queen Elizabeth II florin, also known as the 2 shillings coin. In this video, we will explore its historical background, design and specifications, rarity and collectability, why some examples can be worth a lot of money, and most importantly, its current market value and estimated worth heading into 2026. The florin holds a special place in British coinage history. First introduced in the mid-19th century, the florin was valued at 2 shillings, which equaled 1/10 of a pound under the old pre-decimal system. This denomination played a crucial role in Britain's long journey toward decimalization. By the time Queen Elizabeth II came to the throne in 1952, the florin had already been part of everyday life for more than a century. the 1960 florin was struck during the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, a time when Britain was rebuilding after World War II and entering a period of modernization and cultural change. Coins from this era reflect both tradition and transition, and the florin is a perfect example of that balance. It remained legal tender for many years, even after decimalization in 1971, when its value became equivalent to 10 new pence. This long period of circulation adds to its historical importance. The obverse of the 1960 florin features the first official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This youthful effigy shows the Queen facing right, wearing a laurel wreath, symbolizing victory, continuity, and royal authority. Surrounding the portrait is the Latin inscription declaring her as Queen by the grace of God. This portrait is especially admired by collectors because it captures the Queen at the beginning of her historic reign, long before she became the longest-serving monarch in British history. On the reverse side, the coin displays a beautifully balanced floral design representing the unity of the United Kingdom. At the center is the Tudor rose for England, accompanied by the thistle of Scotland, the shamrock of Ireland, and the leek of Wales. This design is both symbolic and artistic, making the florin one of the most recognizable British coins of the 20th century. The denomination and date appear clearly, completing a design that is simple yet elegant. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1960 No Mint Mark florin was struck at the Royal Mint in London. Like other florins of this period, it does not carry a mint mark. The coin is made from a copper-nickel alloy, which gives it a silver-like appearance while being durable enough for everyday circulation. It weighs just over 11 grams and measures approximately 28 millimeters in diameter, with a milled edge designed to prevent clipping and counterfeiting. When discussing rarity, it is important to be honest and realistic. The 1960 florin is not considered a rare coin in terms of mintage numbers. Millions were produced, and many examples still exist today. Because of this, most circulated examples are relatively common on the market. However, rarity in coin collecting is not determined by mintage alone. Condition plays a major role, and this is where the 1960 florin begins to stand out. Coins that spent decades in circulation often show heavy wear, especially on the Queen's portrait and the floral details on the reverse. High-grade examples that show sharp details, clean surfaces, and minimal wear are far less common than worn coins. Uncirculated or near-uncirculated pieces, especially those with original mint luster, are much harder to find and are significantly more desirable among collectors. Another factor that can increase value is eye appeal. Coins with even toning, strong strikes, and no major marks or scratches are far more attractive to buyers. Some collectors also seek coins that were part of old collections or stored carefully for decades, as these often survive in better condition than average. Now let's talk about value and whether this coin is truly worth a lot of money. For most people, the typical circulated 1960 florin will not be a high-value item. Heavily worn examples are generally worth only a small amount above face value. These coins are often kept for historical interest rather than investment. However, as condition improves, so does value. Coins in fine to very fine condition are worth more, especially if details are still clear and legible. Extremely fine examples, with limited wear and strong design features, can command noticeably higher prices. Uncirculated coins are the most valuable of all and can be worth many times more than their circulated counterparts. As we move into 2026, the market value of the 1960 No Mint Mark florin remains stable. Average circulated coins typically sell for a modest amount, while higher-grade pieces continue to attract steady demand. Uncirculated examples, especially those certified or well-preserved, can reach significantly higher prices, particularly when sold through reputable dealers or auctions. It is important to understand that this coin does not derive its value from precious metal content. Unlike earlier florins made of silver, the 1960 issue is a base metal coin. Its worth comes from historical significance, collector demand, and condition rather than intrinsic metal value. Looking ahead, the long-term outlook for this coin is positive but realistic. It is unlikely to become extremely rare, but interest in pre-decimal British coinage continues to grow, especially as fewer people remember using these coins in daily life. This gradual increase in nostalgia and historical appreciation helps maintain demand among collectors. For beginners, the 1960 florin is an excellent entry point into British coin collecting. It is affordable, widely available, and rich in history. For experienced collectors, high-grade examples offer an opportunity to own a well-preserved piece from the early reign of Queen Elizabeth II. The 1960 no-mint mark Queen Elizabeth II florin 2 shillings coin is a timeless piece of British history. While most examples are not extremely valuable, coins in excellent condition can be worth significantly more and continue to attract collector interest in 2026. Its elegant design, historical importance, and connection to a remarkable era make it a coin worth owning and appreciating. The 2013 Gibraltar Queen Elizabeth II 50p coin with no mint mark, exploring its history, design, rarity, value, and whether it has the potential to be worth a lot of money as we approach the year 2026. This video is perfect for collectors, investors, and anyone curious about whether a simple 50p coin could hold hidden value. The territory of Gibraltar has a long and proud tradition of issuing its own coinage while remaining closely tied to British monetary standards. Gibraltar coins are officially legal tender within the territory, but they are not intended for everyday circulation in the United Kingdom. This immediately gives Gibraltar coins a unique status, as most people outside the territory rarely encounter them in regular pocket change. The 2013 Gibraltar 50p coin was issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, one of the most historically significant monarchs in world history. By 2013, Queen Elizabeth II had already ruled for more than 6 decades, making coins from this era part of a mature and well-established numismatic period. Coins from her later reign are increasingly seen as historical artifacts rather than simply modern currency, especially following the end of her reign in 2022. This particular coin carries no mint mark, which is typical for Gibraltar issues. Unlike some world coins that use mint marks to identify production facilities, Gibraltar coinage is usually struck under contract by established mints without a visible mint identifier. This absence does not reduce authenticity, instead, it is a normal characteristic of Gibraltar coin production. On the obverse, the coin features the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, wearing a regal yet understated crown. The design reflects dignity, stability, and continuity, which were hallmarks of her reign. The inscription around the portrait includes her name and title, reinforcing the coin's official status and its connection to the British crown. The reverse design is where this coin truly stands out for collectors. The 2013 Gibraltar 50p coin is part of a commemorative issue, often featuring a festive or symbolic theme rather than a standard national emblem. These designs were created to appeal to collectors and tourists rather than for mass circulation. The artistic style is detailed, balanced, and visually engaging, making the coin attractive even to non-collectors. The coin's 7-sided shape, known as heptagonal, is instantly recognizable and aligns with the traditional 50p format used across British and overseas territories. This shape improves handling, durability, and identification, while also adding to its iconic appearance. In terms of composition and physical characteristics, the coin is made from cupronickel, a durable alloy that resists corrosion and wear. It has a solid feel in hand, a clean silver-colored finish, and a weight and size consistent with other 50p coins. These qualities make it suitable for long-term preservation, which is important for collectors who prioritize condition. The 2013 Gibraltar Queen Elizabeth II 50p coin is not classified as extremely rare, but it is not common either. Gibraltar has a much smaller population than the United Kingdom, and its commemorative coins are produced in significantly lower quantities than standard UK circulating coinage. Most of these coins were sold directly to collectors or visitors rather than released into everyday use. Because of this, many examples remain in good condition, but they are scattered across private collections worldwide. Finding one in uncirculated or near-mint condition is becoming increasingly difficult as time passes and more coins are handled, traded, or stored improperly. The lack of mass circulation is a key factor that supports long-term collectability. While millions of UK 50p coins exist, Gibraltar issues appeal to a more specialized collector base, which often leads to steady demand rather than sudden spikes. As of now, the market value of the 2013 Gibraltar 50p coin is typically higher than its face value, but not extraordinarily high for standard examples. Most coins in average collector condition sell for a modest premium, reflecting their commemorative nature and limited distribution. However, value increases significantly based on condition. Coins that remain uncirculated, with sharp details, original luster, and no signs of wear, command much higher prices. Coins that are professionally graded or preserved in original packaging are especially desirable. It is important to understand that claims of this coin being worth thousands are generally misleading unless the coin has a verified minting error or an exceptionally rare variation. Standard examples are collectible, not investment-grade rarities. That said, the Gibraltar 50p series has produced rare error coins in the past, and those rare mistakes have sold for very large sums. While the 2013 standard issue is not known for major errors, collectors are encouraged to carefully examine their coins for unusual features such as misaligned designs, missing details, or incorrect pairings of obverse and reverse. By 2026, several factors are expected to influence the value of this coin. First, the continued historical significance of Queen Elizabeth II will remain strong. Coins bearing her image are increasingly viewed as part of a closed era, which naturally enhances collector interest. Second, as more collectors enter the market and Gibraltar coins become harder to find in top condition, prices are likely to gradually increase rather than spike suddenly. This means slow, steady appreciation rather than dramatic growth. For standard ungraded examples, values in 2026 are expected to remain in a moderate range, with higher prices for coins in excellent condition. High-grade or professionally certified coins could see stronger gains, particularly if demand for overseas territory coinage continues to rise. For investors, this coin should be viewed as a long-term collectible, not a get-rich-quick item. Its value lies in historical appeal, limited production, and aesthetic design rather than extreme rarity. The 2013 Gibraltar Queen Elizabeth II 50p coin with no mint mark is a genuine commemorative piece with historical relevance and steady collector demand. It is not among the rarest 50p coins in existence, but it holds respectable value, especially in uncirculated condition. As we move toward 2026, it is expected to maintain or slowly increase its worth, making it a solid addition to any modern coin collection. If you own one, preserve it carefully. If you're considering adding one to your collection, focus on condition and authenticity. And most importantly, enjoy the history and craftsmanship that this coin represents. If you enjoyed this deep dive into modern coin collecting, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more expert insights into valuable coins, rare finds, and future market trends. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.